Hey, Brian Freeman here. Hey, thanks for joining me today. I wanted to talk to you today about if you're getting ready to build a custom home on a piece of land you already own, or you're going to be buying land and then building a custom home. And you actually need financing to actually build this house. You're going to need to go to a lender. I wanted to show you what that breakdown may look like. So a cost breakdown, what it would look like. So if you're listening here on the podcast, make sure you go over to the YouTube channel. You can actually see the visual of what I'm going to be talking about here. But I wanted to show you what you're actually going to need to prepare for a lender and what helps them in the process. So let me go ahead and click over here so you can see a little bit more of what's going on. I'm going to move my screen out of the way, or move myself out of the way so you can actually see the screen here. And what I have here is an actual cost breakdown that is submitted to, it's what we would call a lender cost breakdown that goes over to a lender. And what we'll do is we particularly will break out our costs and building costs, soft costs, and site costs. And what is a building cost? That's the actual hard cost to actually build the home. So it doesn't have anything to do with permits, fees, any other items that are not actually on site being put together. Also does not include the actual site costs, which are improvements to the land to get it ready to actually build. So what we're looking at here is you have a build cost column, you have a soft cost column, which actually includes plans, permits, fees, Title 24. It includes maybe you got water meter fees, sewer fees, that sort of thing. Those are going to fall under your soft costs. And then the site costs are actually like grading. You're going to actually underground utilities. Maybe if you have a lot of long driveway for flat work, concrete flat work, or possibly even your asphalt driveway that'd be going in there. BMPs for like soils management. And even we'll put solar under there too. A lot of times solar could go under the house, but the way we have it structured, we put it underneath their site costs. But you get a total here of all of these line items that actually go across the board here. And they go in this total column. And at the bottom, you end up having a number. You got your subtotal. You'll put your contingencies in here. And then you'll have supervision, overhead, and profit. And you come up with a bottom line number. So say this particular number here is $793,175. So what you end up having to do for the lender is typically during the process of actually starting to build your home, you will have plans and design. You may have some consulting fees. You're going to have some permits and fees, other things that are paid up front. So those are before you actually can get any money from the bank. So what ends up happening is these are what the bank would call prepaids. So these prepaids can get counted towards your down payment. So if you had 20% down, so say it was $100,000 you had to put down on a property, or $200,000, they will actually say you paid $50,000 in prepaids. But they needed that $200,000 down. They would reduce that amount you actually had to come out of pocket to $150,000 based on the prepaids. So what is helpful to the lender to actually provide them in this this lender cost breakdown is you break out the build costs, soft costs, site costs. They honestly don't care too much about these three columns. They care about this green column, and they care about the prepaid. So this helps us just to kind of in our mind to actually break out how our costs are breaking down as far as the project. And then we come over here, the lender's going to look at this total cost right here. He's going to look at the 793, and then he's going to look at this prepaid total. So this particular person had paid $26,567 on the front end of prepaid items for this particular project that was here. So what the lender will do is they're going to look at these prepaids, and now they're going to reduce that amount of the down payment by this amount here. They'll also look at what they do as far as from the builder standpoint is they will look at, okay, well, the first draw amount, some lenders have different draw amounts. So let's say they'll limit the first draw to 10%, say, of the 793, 175 on the first draw. So 10% of the overall contract amount would be going out on the initial draw. So to the builder, now what they'll do is they'll do 10% minus prepaid items. So this particular draw, if it was $79,000, they take off about $26,000 off of that draw amount, and that's the draw amount that the builder would get deposited when the loan actually closes and funds. So that's how they see the prepaid. So this gives them a really good breakdown here, because they can now go, okay, well, there was a letter of intent, which is $5,000, which this is actually typically, this is really on the low end for what a letter of intent money would be. I think this was a project that was already pre-designed and done, and it was very, very simple. So that's why this was what it was. But if you look over here, now it shows the remaining balance is 0. The permits and fees, they weren't paid yet. They'll actually be paid once the building permit or once the loan funds, and then we have the money available to do that. So once that's done, this shows 29,605. So that all that money would get funded in the first draw. So typically these items that are all in the front end of the project, which this cost breakdown is in the order of sequence of how these particular trades and processes happen in a build. So you have all your soft costs on the front end here. So these will all get funded down to the amount that's left over from the 10% minus the prepaids will get funded in the first draw. But these amounts here, you can see they're reduced. Like this one here had a permit processing fee of $1,300, or the budget was $1,300. They prepaid $625, so there's a remaining balance of $675. So this allows the lender to know that, hey, I got $675 additional that's going to go out in that first draw based on this, because that's what's left in that line item, because they've already prepaid $625. So and that applies all the way down here. So you can see, and then as you go down, this dollar amount here in this column, the far column with the prepaids, it shows that the total contract amount was $793,175, but the total amount that's still due to the builder per the contract is $766,608. So that's the $793,175 total contract amount minus the $26,567 for the prepaids, which then gives you $766,608 left remaining on the contract. And then what'll happen, and we can go over this, and I'll actually do another video on this, but what you'll do is have a billing schedule that'll break this down. So this will break down maybe 8 to 10 or so different payments throughout the project. So, and it's typically at the start of grading, start of foundation, start of framing, start of drywall. So at the start of, you'll get what we would call a billing schedule, and then that'll actually go out. So yeah, so if you're getting ready to buy land, you're going to need to get one of these together. If you're actually this is going to be part of you're actually going to buy the land with the construction loan. So essentially you'll close on the land and get the construction in place. You'd have to have this lender package in place prior to doing that. And then you would also, if you're getting ready, you already own the land and you're getting ready to build, you have to produce this as well. So you have to get this part. This is just part of the agreement. So you have to have a building agreement. The cost breakdown's a part of that, along as all the specifications. So that's what we call our lender package. So, all right. So I hope that helps you understand, what's a cost breakdown supposed to look like for a lender? How does it help to actually get the prepaids put in there, so you can actually, the lender can see what he needs to reduce that first draw amount, and then it allows them to get that loan ready to fund. So, all right. So thanks for your time. Have a wonderful rest of your day.